I think that self-doubt is like the biggest killer to creativity.
Yeah.
And I think that marijuana allows that barrier to be broken down.
Let me have your attention for a minute. This is something for the ladies, all the ladies of all ethnicities, ladies of different styles and flavors. But these ladies come together for one reason and one reason only. Yeah, one nation under the flower. That magical flower, the one we love. You know who it is, and you know where I'm at? I'm chilling with the queens of the stoned age.
I mean, I started using it when I was a teenager, and it started kind of as a recreational, sort of self-medicating mental health thing. And then over time, I realized that it's such a good tool to sort of ground myself and stay in the present moment rather than have anxieties about my past or my future or whatever. It's like while I'm working on something, it's able to kind of give me my own force field atmosphere and like really get into my own zone.
Hey, I'm Samantha Urbani. I'm from Connecticut originally, and I'm a musician, artist, activist, and is that it? Should I do it again?
I make pop music, but there's like kind of socio-political overtones to everything that I do.
Yeah.
But it's true, it totally keeps you present. It's weird, it makes you be able to look inside and also outside. Inside to look outside.
Definitely.
Changes our perspective.
Absolutely, and I think it's an amazing social thing to bring people together that's not destructive or you know, kind of dangerous the way other things are.
What about for you, Sarah?
Wow, okay.
Take a hit first, take your time. Breathe into it.
Hello, my name is Sarah McDaniel. I'm from originally Eureka, California, but I now live in Ventura. My relationship to cannabis started a couple of years ago when I had horrible insomnia, and the only thing that could really cure it was cannabis. I think when I first started smoking cannabis, it was mostly for medical, like insomnia and depression and things like that. And I had no idea about the whole other side of like CBD and how that could work out. I think it just helped with maybe my anxiety would be moving so fast, I wouldn't really be able to focus on any creativity or anything. I don't know, just it slows down my mind and makes it so I can actually focus on things that really matter and not the bullshit.
Yeah.
Totally.
Basically, I've been smoking for a really long time, since I was like 13, and it helps with a lot of things that you guys were mentioning, like, you know, depression and creativity, all those things. But for me, it really just, I really am just focused on just my creative side and doing, you know, fashion or being behind the scenes of creating my own photo shoots, and you know, and I get to interact with all the cool people that I like to be around, which is people that, you know, smoke, and I have a good attitude towards just life in general.
What's up? My name is Madzilla. I am originally from Oregon, but I was raised in Southern California. My grandma was a model, so I was like, you know what, I want to become a model. And I was still smoking weed, and I was doing these things that, like, and I was getting tattoos and stuff, and people were looking at me like, what are you gonna do with your career? Like, what are you doing with yourself, you know? So I just made sure to, like, stay true to myself and just always be as creative as I can, and you know, just show who I really am, which is I smoke a lot of weed, I party, I turn up, but I'm also a businesswoman.
I think it's like it takes a certain type of person to smoke weed. I've never met really like an angry weed smoker or anything like that. So
none of that.
You know,
You have to really try to be angry.
Yeah, it definitely helps with like every aspect, I feel like, of my life.
That's how we met, actually. I was shooting her for a brand, and we were smoking the entire time. And there's just a whole vibe to it. So
yeah, it was really cool.
Wow, I feel like that could go both ways, though. Sometimes I just don't trust people that don't use cannabis.
Right.
My name's Jessica Assaf, and I'm the founder of Cannabis Feminist. Cannabis is a lot of things to me. Sometimes cannabis is my therapist. Sometimes cannabis is my best friend. Sometimes cannabis is my mom. Sometimes cannabis is my big sister, and sometimes she's my little sister. But she's a really big part of my life, and that's why I want to share my experience with cannabis with the world.
Wait, hold on. Anybody that demonizes it. It's like I've gone on and off with smoking it myself, but like anybody who villainizes it or sees it as like a class 1 drug, it's like so backwards and it's so absurd.
Like, it's interesting too, though, because I feel like a lot of people that do demonize it don't understand it at all.
Or need it the most, you know? Like my dad.
Honestly, it's just ignorance because, I don't mean to be rude, but it's just like
uneducated.
Usually they don't understand like all the medical benefits or how it can be non-psychoactive. And there's so many different parts of the plant. It's not just THC.
Yeah, it's like a stigma too. Like people think that stoners are lazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just gonna get high and not do anything. Like I'm the opposite.
I know. Look at everyone here.
Absolutely. And it's just, it kind of created a new social dynamic for me as a musician, where rather than going out and partying, getting drunk, and like, you know, it's a dangerous situation, especially for women, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of being able to be present while kind of loose and having fun and doing something recreational. I'd go on tour all over the place, in Europe and South America and Australia, and
that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
I tour too.
Yeah.
When you're trying to smoke outside of the country.
Yeah.
Hey there, my name's Jenna Rovero, and I'm a photographer, and I live in LA. My relationship to cannabis is creativity, and for me, shooting and being creative, obviously, are like two amazing things that have to happen, and smoking blends those two together so perfectly, and I thank God for it.
When I was seeing my friends drinking and hurting themselves and throwing up, and I was like, what are you guys doing? That's kind of how I started getting into photography, actually, because while they were acting a fool, I was always just sitting back watching everybody like, what the hell? And so then I just took that to pictures, and then was just a voyeur from that point.
Wow.
And it helps me focus. I'm in school now, so I use it a lot to focus on writing my papers and stuff. And it definitely creates a lot more creativity when I'm writing like these boring psychological, like physiological psychology papers about the thalamus and the, you know, all these different parts of the brain and stuff like that. And it makes it a lot more fun when I can smoke and write.
So true. I genuinely believe that cannabis got me into Harvard.
Yeah,
I will say that too. How is that different than the role it played in your previous career?
Well, I mean, before I was an adult film actress, so that's completely opposite. Hi, my name is Jenna Haze. I am a retired adult film legend, I guess people say. I'm also the first adult film star ever named after marijuana. They both allowed me to, you know, use cannabis in a creative way. You know, when I was directing and producing, I did the art direction. I had to pick out the wardrobe and the types of makeup and the scenarios and everything that went into that. So I would always,
You were high every time?
Always smoke and think what would be the sexiest thing that could happen right now, and just put it all together. And and now it's like I use it for, I'm writing an autobiography, so all that, it's so hard to write about yourself. But if I smoke and I just turn on my recorder and I just talk about myself and tell stories like I'm telling it to a friend, it's a lot easier.
It's true. I feel like it does build confidence.
Yeah, and it allows you to just think freely and create freely rather than placing judgments on yourself or thinking, is this good enough or not? It's just free form.
No, I'm more in my own world with sativa, and I don't like that. Like, I like to be like, talking to her a lot. And like,
not like self-conscious and antisocial, but
yeah, exactly.
But I feel like when you're talking, you're in your own world anyway, because you two finish each other's
I'm Lexi.
I'm Allie. We're the Kaplan Twins. We're from originally New Jersey.
Yeah, and then we moved out
to New York, and then we moved here.
New York. Moved here. We're both artists.
We paint together at the same time.
At the same time.
On the same canvas. And we smoke weed while we do it. Yeah.
What is it like when you paint with cannabis?
It's more fun. It's like you're focused, you're just kind of like
we're doing it together too, so it's like you're doing it with your best friend and you're like smoking and painting and having a good time. It's just like
I also feel like it's more of an escape. Like sometimes when we're painting, we'll be changing music or like checking our phones and really concerned with what else is happening in the outside world.
When we're like high, we're more focused.
We're just like in the moment with each other and like listening to our disco music.
I feel like it is such like a creative thing. Like it does make you more creative. Like it does help with that. I don't know. I think people are realizing that and they're accepting it and they're wanting to do it also. We like post photos of us like smoking weed. Like
yeah, totally. I know. I moved to LA and then I just decided to combine two of the most controversial words: cannabis feminist.
Yeah.
And that I'm gonna just own it because I really believe they should be next to each other.
Totally. I mean, I feel like right now in media and in pop culture even, there are so many dialogues opening up about sort of oppressive power dynamics.
Yeah, it was a medicine, and then the political system, the patriarchal system, reclassified it from a medicine to a drug, and now here we are, kind of taking that back.
Yeah, it's inherently political. To dismantle the war on drugs is to dismantle all of the oppressive power dynamics that are involved in it.
Just own it and also just show the world that you can actually hit the bong or take a joint, you know, and then be your most creative self.
Yeah. And like inspire, you inspire each other and just get ideas from that.
If I'm collaborating with people, it's an amazing time. Like, even a couple weeks ago, I got together with my friend who's like a pretty big, amazing rapper, and a friend of mine who I've known for 8 years who's like this really like funny indie experimental kid. We kind of had like a slow start, and it was like we were trying to find common ground and stuff, and then we started eating weed cookies. And as soon as everybody was like vibing a little bit, we just all turned into like mad scientists. And then through doing that and getting really comfortable, we were able to connect and see like our common ground and make something really cool in the end.
But it kind of helps me because, you know, I still get nervous as long as I've been shooting for. I still get a little bit nervous behind the camera, so if I just smoke a blunt, like I make sure that, you know, you kind of get a hand to pick who you're around. So at that point, you're kind of just like everyone around you accepts it, and you're just like feel comfortable to just be high and be goofy in front of the camera or whatever. And sometimes it's the best, you know, shots that you take is when you're stoned.
Totally. When I was like 15 and I first started smoking weed, I remember having a moment where like I'd been wearing makeup and it was really just to fit in. I was like, why? Why the fuck do I put all this stuff on my face? And I went to the bathroom and I like, it's just one of these stoner moments. Like I washed my face and it felt so metaphorical and so cleansing. And so after that day where I washed my face very symbolically, I didn't ever wear makeup again during high school. It wasn't like to force, you know, a radicalism on myself. It was just like, I don't see there being any criteria for what it means to be, you know, acceptable, beautiful, female, any of these things. And I just wanted to try the things that I was curious about.